And that's what is sexual energy, right? So you hear people talk a lot. I share stuff on Twitter that talks about that understanding it, embracing it, managing it, releasing it, all that kind of stuff, sexual energy. So what I want to do is give you our connotation, our definition of what that means to us. And I'm going to bring out Mr. Flip Chart here because that's probably just about the easiest. So let's get rid of that. And let's see if that will work for us. Yep, that should work. Okay, so we don't need that. So for me, well, exactly, John, and self-interpretation, and that's why for me, I know, like in our all our other classes, even the words emotion, right? We really spend time sharing what for us emotion means and things like that. And so for this one, this is a real common one. Okay, so what is sexual energy? So for us, now let me get what is sexual energy, right? Now, for us, what sexual energy is, I'm actually going to use a different label, and we use this label. Oops, I want to do this. So for us, sexual energy is an expression of, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Sensual energy. So sexual energy is an expression of sensual energy. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's the senses, right? We feel it, right? It's a feeling experience, a physical feeling experience. So when a person is meditating or is visualizing, right? For us, that's not a physical experience. It may cause those effects, but it's not a physical experience. So there's a lot of thinking, right? We do here. When we're talking about sensual energy, one of the things that it's not is it's not a lot of thinking. See, because this is what happens. And this is understandings is so powerful because sensual, as in five senses, right? Energy is very, very powerful. But I think often, one of the reasons we don't talk about it is we think that sensual energy is only this. And we think they are one in the same. And for us, that's not the case, right? For us, I think I'm even spelling this right. Isn't that cool? Sensual energy can express itself in a lot of ways. It can express itself in healing. See, very powerful healing. But what happens is because we equate sensual energy with sexual energy, oh, you just don't want to talk about that stuff, right? But you see, sexual it's an expression of sensual energy, right? So sensual energy can be very, very healing, right? Sensual energy, and we're going to talk about this particular word because we definitions again, right? Sensual energy is, oh boy, I think that's right. For us, sensual energy is feminine energy, not female, feminine. As beings, I did a broadcast on this last week, and I'm going to do a kind of an abbreviated one talking about this specifically. Our being, right? Our soul, our spirit, higher self, body, mind, spirit, right? Three-part being is designed to access, if you will, masculine and feminine energy flows, not male and female, but masculine and energy flows. And when they combine in our heart, a little foreshadowing, then that broadcaster radiates out, which creates our experience. And what happens, what we see is we spend a lot of time on the masculine part of it. And I'll explain that in another broadcast. We don't spend a lot of time on the feminine. I think sometimes because we equate it to sexual. Everybody's scared to death to talk about sexual. Say the word. Just try saying the word sometimes, right? Go ahead. Say it, Darius, sex. Say it, sex. Say it again, right? right? But right, we just right. And so for us, hey Cheryl, how you doing? You missed the good part. Okay, I just finished saying to everybody how we equate sensual energy to sexual energy, so we're afraid to talk about it. So your exercise was to say sex. Say it again. Sex. Say it out loud. Say it again. Sex, right? Because it's one of those things. I'll talk about anything else. Especially guys, keep it real. We'll talk, like really talk about it, right? Not the locker room, but to really talk about it. A lot of these words, man, the guys, and I know I'm broad brushing it here, but we'll talk about anything else other than this. And it's really one of the powerful foundations for the spectacular relationships that we're bringing out now is the guys need it more than anybody else. We need it more than anybody else, because especially in my observation, especially in our Western society, the topics that we're going to talk about, it has not, in my observation, has not been accurately communicated with us. And that's why we get all freaked out about it. I ain't talking about that shit, man, right? But for us, it's about taking it from a very practical perspective, right? And so that's why for us, definitions are important. Sensual energy, 5 senses, right? So you see, this is where what's so important is, and just as I talked about, Cheryl, because you talked in a little late, yeah, there you go, John. He even typed it in capital letters. Ah, boy, way to go. But sensual energy is that 5 senses energy. There's not a lot of thinking in it, as I talked about, and that's what's so powerful, because we get stuck in our head so much. And if he would learn, or as we learn how to access this sensual energy, feminine energy, not female, we're able to get out of our minds a whole lot more effectively. Because as you learn how to cultivate this energy flow, it's not a thinking flow, right? It's not a thinking flow. It's I'm going to abbreviate here. Well, I might be able, there it'll fit. It's a physical feeling flow. It's physical feelings. So sensual energy can be expressed in healing. It's very healing, right? We're finding more and more, one of the keys to powerful healing comes from accessing this feminine sensual energy. And it's our hypothesis at this point, just out of experimenting with it, that one of the reasons, possibly, I don't want to say this for sure, but one of the reasons that people don't experience the fullness of physical healing, or see, sensual energy can also be expressed as, here we're going to do this, right? This. Sensual energy, and when we talk about the chakras, that's how it really ties in with that. Sensual energy can be expressed financially as well. You see, I think one of the reasons that the challenges, finances are a big challenge for a lot of people, is because that horsepower that creates, right? So think of feminine energy. Feminine energy creates, it gives form to, right? Masculine provides the seed. Feminine gives form to, right? And we'll do a broadcast on the characteristics of feminine and masculine energy. And so when we're not able to access this sensual energy, then there's a lot of horsepower to that can be manifested as finances as well. Okay, so I don't want to keep you any longer, because like I said, I want this to be just kind of a short subconscious presence. Oh, for sure, absolutely, a short definition video. So when you hear the word sexual energy, for us, we use the word sensual energy, as in 5 senses. It's feminine, not female. It can be expressed sexually, but it is not in and of itself sexual, right? It can be expressed physically. I just picked an example as finances. It can be expressed as physical healing. So one of the things we talk about, and we really give you some powerful applications that you can use this to begin to access, to begin to heal some of the traumas related to that, and really get a hold of this big ass horsepower machine to manifest some pretty cool stuff.